Here's another random thought. This is how they come up. This is how we capture them. This is how we end up here. I'm thinking about proximity and how much it's evident in life that we need to keep a certain physical range from people and objects and even places, like the edge of a high place, right? You got to keep a little distance in. Um, but for some reason, it's harder to envision and navigate this internally at the non-tangible levels, where it's a matter of how close do we get to, say, other people or situations or our own thoughts and emotions. There's a question of proximity, and I realize that human nature likes to go to extremes. Somehow it just seems the default tendency. And what I'm playing with right now is the idea that a lot of the time we get in too close with the problem, and it's like you can't make it out. It's in here and you can't see. Like, I can't see the details of my own hand even though it's right here in front of my face. So sometimes the problem isn't that we can't see a thing, it's that we've gotten so used to looking past it like this that we don't even really realize it's there, and that if we just get out at the right range, all of a sudden we can see that and we can understand it, like, in greater detail. There's like a focal range we need to establish and work with to get the most out of our approach to things, our understanding. And I think that this is this is where I'm really circling around, but I do think it applies in other things. Again, how close or how far we are from people, from situations, from physical places. These all matter very much, but we don't think of how much it really matters in terms of how we view and approach the different issues that come up in our lives. And sometimes we have too much distance. We put it way over there. We're like, what problem? What problem? No, I can't look back. There's no problems. What problem? And that's too much distance. At some point, we have to pull it back into conscious awareness, put it right here at a range we can understand it, and get inside of it, work through it, get to the other side of the process. There is no way around but through. I had an experience of starting at a new school. I had no idea what I was in for, and they simply said, don't wear your best clothes, wear something you can get dirty in. And I was like, okay. But of course I'd gone out and gotten new clothes for the school year, and so everything was new. And I was like, okay, I hope this is all right. And in the end, nothing that couldn't be managed with a good deep clean. But I was not prepared for the fact that my first day as a new student at a new school, they basically put us onto a van and blindfold us. Like, I didn't agree to drink the Kool-Aid. What happened? Where are we going? And after probably a 20-minute ride or something, we arrive at a trailhead. And half of us are told to take off the blindfolds, and half of us are told to keep them on. I was in the keep them on, so the mystery's still on for me. Next thing I know, they're saying, those without blindfolds, find somebody with and be their guide. Those with, follow your guide. And so we had to hike up this trail. Nothing too crazy. It's a well-established trail, but we're hiking up this hillside, half of us blindfolded and half of us trying to lead people, and not everybody necessarily knows each other that well, as in the case of me and a couple of other people who are new there. And then halfway up we switch. So now I get to guide somebody, and we come up to a clearing, and I'm like, oh, thank God, maybe the weirdness is over and we can have lunch. No, not yet. I said, okay, there's a great spot just over there. It's not that far. You guys go ahead and take the lead. And so the adults kind of let the students go. And of course, a bunch of the boys decided to break off and run out that way. Why? Because straight ahead of us there was a swamp, and there was sort of an expectation that we were going to walk through it. I guess one of the adults had taken a lead after we'd gotten up to it. Like, a few of the kids stopped and looked at it like, what the hell do we do? And one of the adults kept going and just sort of walked into it. We're like, all right, I guess we're supposed to walk through this. Right? And the guys are running top speed all the way around it, thinking they're slick. And we're all like wondering if maybe they aren't. Like, are we dumb doing this? But we're like, look, just get straight through, get to the spot, get a break, right? And so we all hike through, we get to the other side, and the guys are laughing at us. They're like, you're so dumb, you didn't know you could walk around it. You know you can walk around it, right? Like, what happens when you get to the ocean? You try to walk through it? And we're like, yeah, okay, all right. And we're all hoping, like, this is over, we can just go relax and get lunch. And the adults tell us, like, cool, all right, we're gonna head just a short distance that way, we're gonna have some lunch, but before we go, we're all gonna have to wait a minute. And they're like, sorry, but these guys ruined it for everybody. They need to walk back through the swamp and then through it again to rejoin the rest of the group. And those boys really learned there is no way around but through, so they had to go through it twice. Yeah, and I don't think we were that nice to them either. We're like, oh, you could have done it once, but you like it so much. You love walking through the swamp, don't you? You got to do it twice. Lucky you. Terrible, but true. And yeah, this is the thing. Like, so much of this, there's no way around but through. And when we're like, la la la, la la la, or we're trying to throw it over there and get all this distance from it, you're still not on the other side of the swamp. You still have to go through it. There is really, really just the direct route of the suck, plain and simple, straight through the suck. That's how. And having the right sense of range when we look at these things, when we think about it, it really makes a difference in terms of how much clarity. We talk about having a perspective. Perspective is being able to find a position from which you can get the best vantage point, the broadest view. You can take in the most of the terrain that you're going to be navigating and understand it, see enough to really know what's there. This is the thing, and you can't do it if you're down, lost in the woods, unable to see the forest for the trees, or you're out a million miles away and it's nothing but a speck in the distance. You can't actually get in and resolve it at the right level if you're not at the right range. So proximity, that's my spontaneous random thought for the moment. I hope there's something of value in there, and at least my silly anecdote was of some benefit. All right, that's what I got for now. Till the next round. Bye bye.